Morning, Brad. Big question. What's happening to that track with regards to the Sydney weather?
Yeah, good morning. It's amazing how much us racing folk talk about the weather, isn't it? It's incredible. It seems to be a point of contention every week. Again, this time we did cop a good drink there earlier in the week. It has dried out, though, so surprisingly we're on a soft 7 at the moment. I thought if we were going to get on a 7, it might have been a little bit later in the day, but it has been nice and windy as far as drying conditions go, so we will start the day on a 7. Which would be good. It's not that wet track that we expected, because I did my form for a heavy day. So soft 7's a nice result.
I'm going to have to look up what the disorder is for having an obsession with the weather, but you're right. In racing, we really do get hung up on the weather and how things affect the surface that the horses that we play race on. Speaking of the Colgate Optic White, it's at 5 minutes to 6 New Zealand time. Avilius is $3.10. Do we jump back on the Avilius train if people jumped off it, or do we stay on the train for people that have been riding it for the last 2 starts this prep?
Yeah, good question. I think this is the time we do jump on Avilius. If you've been on him, certainly stay with him, because I think this is the most suitable race that he's struck all preparation. And despite that, you're getting the best odds he's been this campaign. We saw him go around first up in a week stakes, $2.60, and he was just wasn't really sharp enough over the 1,400 metres in a race where Summered Out got control and sprinted home. There was certainly nothing wrong with his run there. The replay we're looking at here is last start in the Chelmsford, out to the mile. This was a race or a race day, I should say, where those on pace were certainly suited. Avilius does a stack of work in the middle stages and just peaks on his run the last 200 metres as he was entitled to. So just looking at the end of this race, you probably don't get as much appreciation as you should for the merit in this run. Wet track brings him right into this, and I think importantly, there's a lot of speed in this. So Summered Out isn't going to get a picnic out in front and be able to sprint home. Dreamforce is going to be thereabouts. Angel Truth is a horse that can be thereabouts. So I think it sets up really nicely for Avilius to bounce back and post his first win of the carnival, because we know he's a very, very good horse. And yeah, I don't think the first couple of runs do him justice. So today's the day if you want to cash in. We're getting nice odds there. I think $3.10 is a nice price.
There's certain horses that can really polarise a market on a betting day, and Libertine looks like she will be that horse in the Dali T-Rose. You would think that she's just going to absolutely dominate the trading on this, whether you're on the backside or the lay side effectively, back outsider of course. What side are you on here, Brad?
I'm with her. There is a little bit of a set against her. I think those people who wanted to oppose her early in the week are probably getting a little bit nervous, given we are on a 7 now, because I think that was one of the knocks of being on a heavy track out 1,400 metres for the first time. But how often do you see dominant filling of the season just keep winning, regardless of the little query up in distance? She's an exceptional horse. We saw her blow her rivals away first up with Silver Shadow for an incredible time, and did it still on the bit. It was an unbelievable win. Second up, to the eye, you could be a little bit disappointed, but when you break down the times in this race, Valami got it relatively easy out in front and sprinted really quickly herself. From the front, you had Libertine still running a 32.8, 32.81, I think it was off the top of my head, last 600 metres, so they can't go much quicker than that. The margin probably doesn't do her much justice. She went outstanding. 1,400 metres does pose a little query, but she's going to probably push forward, land outside of Anahid in the run. And you go back to her debut, she actually ran second to Bivouac on a soft 7, so that gives me the confidence that she will handle it, no problems. And as I said at the time, I think she's the class runner. I was hoping we'd get even money, maybe with the scratching of Flip, the hopes of that have dissipated a touch. But there is still a few out there willing to oppose her, so if this does touch even money, I think we just wait. And if we do get that, I think we'll be launching, because she's very good. I do have plenty of respect for Funstar, but I think she'll really come into her own when she gets out to the mile in the flight stakes. I'm just thinking that Libertine is still going to be a little bit too sharp for her over 1,400 metres.
One of the things that has really come to the fore since James Cummings has taken over the Godolphin Australia operation is just monitoring the horses that come into a stable, how they're placed and when to get on them. Cascadian lines up in the Bill Ritchie. First up run seemed like the ultimate flashing red light sort of performance, and said next up. Is that an illusion, or is that something that you want to follow up on today?
Yeah, I think you're right. It was a quick day at Randwick that particular day, but this bloke ran the fastest last 600 metres across the entire meeting, which includes Trope, and we know he's a bit of a sectional star, so there was plenty of merit there. 1,200 metres is a horse that's going to come into his own out to 1,400 metres and the mile. He is penciled into the Epsom. I did note that he's a long way down the order of entry there, so this is a little bit of a D-day for him. I'm holding a futures ticket with him for the Epsom, so I'm desperate for him to not only win here and get us the cash today, but also maybe get a little penalty and rise up the order of entry there, because I think he's a horse with the quality to win a race like the Epsom, and if that is the case, he really has to be standing up today. Little while between runs, but we saw and can see James Cummings do that. He usually uses a little tick over trial in between just to keep the engine purring, and I like what we saw from him at the trials. He just went straight out the back Cascadian and went to the line under his own steam behind Classic Legend. So when Classic Legend's trialling, we know it's a pretty good benchmark, and if you're taking any ground off him or doing it relatively easy at the back, I think that's a nice lead for him. Karen McAvoy sticks, and we've got a pretty handy opinion of the horse. And as I say, I think today's the day where he really has to stand up and announce himself as a genuine, potentially Group 1 horse out in Australia. Star of the Seas and Colding, the Chris Waller pair. Certainly don't want to discount them. Star of the Seas just keeps getting better and better every time he comes back. He just takes that next little level. We know he loves wet ground. He goes on all surfaces, and I thought his running the tramway was very good. The same can be said for Colding. It was his first defeat last start as a gelding. He won four from four as a gelding last preparation return. Probably should have run second there at the Dreamforce, so certainly don't read into too much to his fifth there. Wet track, little query with him, but yeah, we are with Cascadian here, and I think it's the day he really has to stand up.
The shorts has been very much decimated by horses that have come out of it. Quick comment on who you think will win that?
Yeah, Pierrata for me. I think he's the one. He had that flashing light on him first up. It says that he's come back in career best form, and that's pretty scary. And we know he goes on the wet tracks. Deep race though. I know we've lost a few, but you've still got Redzel there. He proved himself back in form. And Classic Legend, the up and comer. We still don't know where he fits in, but everything suggests that he's a very classy animal.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, Brad. Brad Gray there, Racing New South Wales form analyst. Here's a summary of his best for Randwick. His best outright is race 7, Avilius, $3.10 right now. In race number 5, Cascadian, and Cascadian competes in the Bill Ritchie. Now for the Epsom Handicap Futures, he's at $11, and if he wins the Bill Ritchie, it's an exempt race, so he will go. He will be able to gain a start in the Epsom. It's a win and you're in scenario. Race number 6, Pirata, is $2.80. If you want to back Pirata in the Everest, you're getting $7 right now. And in race number 8, Supernova is at $4.80 and is $11 in the Metropolitan Futures. So that's Brad Gray and his thoughts on the Randwick program.